Hey everybody, I wanted to go ahead and do a kind of like a channel update, and the reason I wanted to do that was because I didn't want to tack this on at the end of the last two videos I've done to make them longer. That's not the goal. But we've had some things go on, and if you looked at my very first video I put out versus the second one that I put out, you'll notice there's a long time in between there. And that wasn't intentional, but if you'll remember what was going on in that period of time, yep, I got it. Me and the old lady got up one day and I wasn't feeling all that good or whatever, and she wanted to go shopping at one particular store, so I said, that's fine as long as you drive. And what she told me was, we got out a little ways, a couple miles, and she asked me a question, and when she turned to look while I was answering, she said my eyes were rolled back and I was speaking in tongues. Basically what happened was she turned around, went straight to an emergency room, and I was admitted. It turned out that I had SARS-2, COVID-19 pneumonia, and just for the little cherry on top, regular old walking pneumonia. So needless to say, I was admitted immediately. She was also tested, and she was also tested positive, and all she had was an occasional cough, which we don't know because she's always clearing her throat 24 hours a day, so it's hard to tell if she's got something going on or not. Well, I tell you, that stay in that hospital was worse than the dadgum disease. I was in there a little over 9 days, and in that 9 days or so, I didn't get one bath. When I was finally picked up and took home, the old lady said, we're going to take you outside and hose you down. You stink. And on top of that, within those 9 days, I only got one opportunity to visit. I had a room to myself and a bathroom to myself, but I couldn't get in that bathroom because I had tubes going out both arms. I wasn't on a ventilator. I just had those two little things they stick up your nose and you breathe air that way. But I couldn't get to the bathroom to do my business because I was so hooked up. Finally, about the fourth day, I said, what the heck with it. And I just pulled them out and I went into the bathroom. Needless to say, that set off some kind of alarms, which I don't know why they were different from all the other alarms they never answered. But I finally came out at the bathroom and, they hooked me back up. And that was the last chance I got to go in there. After about the fourth day also, the first doctor I ever saw came in and started yelling at me because I was in bed getting ready to eat my lunch and just starts yelling at me. So basically wanted me to sit in a chair, move a chair over and sit in it, and I'm going, we gotta have a come Jesus meeting here because I'm hooked up, both arms, can't move. Chair's over the other side of the room. You want me to move it over to this side of the room? Let's look at who's patient and who's provider, who's paying and who's getting paid, okay? You want the chair over there? You get somebody to move it. And, well, it was one of those cases to where the whole time I was there, well, I'll be right back. And they never came back. And I didn't see another doctor until the day I got discharged. The doctor walks in. And I looked at him, I go, you gonna yell at me again? Oh no, we're gonna have the respiratory specialist come in and give you a test. If you pass the test, you're going home. I would tell me what to study. I want out of this daggone place. Well, I finally got out, and I told the old lady, if I'm ever in the back and I cut my arm off, or my leg off, or my head off with my chainsaw, you just take me to a veterinary office before you take me back to that daggum hospital. No more. Well, I came home, and needless to say, you and I are going to go running marathons after all that. Not by any means whatsoever. Especially being the fact that at that time I was 71. Okay, I'm 72 now. Man, I was 71, so I went through all that, came home, and I lost 22 pounds in the hospital in 9 days. 22 pounds. Good Lord. I found them. They did not get away. All right. So I got home, and I was on not a ventilator, but one of the things that creates oxygen and you breathe it through those little tubes again. So I was on that for a while. And I still am. I've always been on that because of sleep apnea. I can't wear a mask because they put me on that. So I got all that thing squared away, and I thought I was starting to do pretty good, and I thought I was starting to get a little bit of energy, and I told the other half, I said, hey, look, I don't know about you, but I need to walk. I need to get out and try and walk around the block. And I used to battle walk her into the ground when she would walk with me. She just couldn't keep up. I mean, I was battle walking, boom. But I got out there, and she was just like hop, skipping, and jumping around me and running circles, you know, kind of teasing me because I was doing good just to get from an inch or two every now and then. And I walked a mile, came back, thought, well, yeah, I'm a little tired, and my back hurts. My back always hurts from jumping out of airplanes. I mean, you know, my back's been messed up for years. And so I went to bed normal time that night and got up the next morning, and I was bending at 45 degrees. It looked like I dropped something on the ground, and I was looking at it. My back was out for about 2.5 months. I was messed up again with the back. So needless to say, I couldn't do videos, because if I was, I'd be about like that, all right? So I couldn't do that. And just about the time that thing started to get ready, and I'm feeling good and everything, and I'm being real careful, and you know, I can walk now. And about a week after I got to the point where I could walk and I was doing really good, I went shopping, bought some food, came home, opened up the truck door, reached in to get it, felt a pop in my back, felt a nice warm sensation, which is not nice, and bam, I was down again. And I did everything from compresses, hot, cold. I have a TENS unit, and if you don't know what a TENS unit is, that's those things you stick on your back with 4 little pads and it shoots electricity. I was shooting enough electricity in there to power New York City, let me tell you. And finally, long story short, I got to feeling better. So now I'm doing pretty good. I put out a video recently, just today, which was an old video of building my woodshed, and before that I put one out where I put a console safe in my Titan. So we're getting back up to speed here. I'm kind of catching up a little bit. And that's the plan. I got some more gun-related stuff to do. I'm going to do one on charging handles and which one will bite you and cause you some real pain if something happens and goes wrong. And I'm going to tell you about that. We're going to talk about the 2 types of ammo that me and all my buddies think every new gun owner should own. All right? And then we're going to come about. You've seen that I like to build some things. I put a building video on there. Well, I like to cook too. So I'm going to add some cooking videos here as well. They're not going to all be just gun related, okay? But there's one thing there's a couple things that I'd like to say about my first video, which was the disassembly and reassembly of this Charles Daly N4S 12 gauge semi-automatic shotgun. Yeah, I wish it was automatic. Take that, Brandon. Anyway, there wasn't a lot to disagree with that, okay? There was a couple of things one could make comments on, primarily around magazines. But it was a take this part off, take this part off, take this part on. All right, you're done. Put this part back on, put this part. You know how disassembly and reassembly goes. But there's one thing that I really liked. I was really surprised about. My first surprise was over 7,600 people viewed that thing. And I was amazed because that was a specific shotgun, specific brand, everything about it was specific down to one weapon, right? Now, did the disassembly and reassembly apply to some of the other Charles Dalys? To a certain degree, I bet it did, and you know, maybe it was helpful, but there was just that one particular weapon, but it had, you know, I think it was a little over 7,600 views. Nothing viral or whatever, but it was better than the 5 I was expecting, you know. And one thing that really I'm really happy about is I got 136 comments, I believe it was, and every one of them was positive. Now wait a minute, I don't mean everybody agreed with me. I mean, even those that disagreed with me were polite and respectful, stated their things, or just made a simple comment, and weren't like you see on some comments going around YouTube and all over the internet. I mean, you got some squib sitting in his mama's basement in front of a computer. He thinks he's a big guy because he can type out anything that he wants offensively, knowing that it ain't within reach. Do it in my face, see what happens. It's a whole different problem. But you know, everybody was really respectful, and I am just so happy about that. You really ought to give yourself a round of applause for that. And I hope we can continue that. Because I guarantee you're not going to agree with some of the things I got to say about ammo and some of the things I got to say probably when I start to describe charging handles and that kind of stuff. So, but that was cool. I really liked that. And what also surprised me was got a number of followers. Hey, I never expected that. But I did, and I probably lost every daggone one of them except for one that I'm positive about. Hey, Sandra. If you don't know who Sandra is, check out some of the other videos, and it explains who Sandra is. Sandra's the only one that I know has come back and said, hey, glad to see you back, and that's okay. And I have been advised and thoroughly advised that I should, on every video, either the beginning or the end, at some point in time, this is where I feel like a $2 hooker. At the beginning or the end, I should say, hey, hope you like the video. Click on a like and subscribe. Hey, if you want to subscribe, subscribe. You don't want to subscribe, don't subscribe. You want to click on a like, click on it. You don't want to click on it, don't click on it. I don't know what would happen if you do or if you don't. I don't know how this stuff works. Never claimed to. If they take me off, bye. If they don't take me off, hey, I'm back with another video. But I'm supposed to ask that, hey, how about clicking on subscribe and how about clicking on like? So now I've done my $2 hooker stuff. So that's what's going on with the videos, and that's what happened to me, and that's why we had that long slide of nothing going on. Hopefully, it'll be a while before something like that happens again. I don't know. I'm just hoping so. But for now, that's the plan. And I appreciate you for hanging around if you did. And if you're new, I'd appreciate you hanging around. And I'd appreciate any comments. Keep them respectful. Keep them, But tell me why you disagree, because, hey, who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks? I've been known to change my mind on things. Don't ever tell my other half that. All right? But I have been known to change my mind, and if you can convince me otherwise, that's fine. But, nowadays, if you have an opposing opinion, now there's a string of names they call you. We don't do that. Not on this channel. Let's not do that on this channel, okay? If you want to disagree, disagree. Just disagree politely, and I will support your right to disagree no matter what. I mean, my dad, my granddad, you can trace my family history all the way back to the battles of 1776. We had military folks in my family. Some of my military people back then was in the cannon company and shot cannonballs at the British. Sorry about that, mate. I got a couple of friends in England, so sorry about that. Not really. But anyway, so we spend our whole lives trying to make sure that you can say what you want to say, but all I ask is just say it respectfully, disagree respectfully, and cut loose. All right. So, if you got any questions, you got any comments, put them below. You know how this thing works better than I do, okay? And if you understand how that subscribe, like work, do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. That's up to you. We'll catch you later. Bye.